Dermo, I know this box. Dermo, you know this box. So a couple weeks ago, I had a little bit of a cry on stream because it's just one of those moments where you work really hard nonstop. And I mean, I've kind of always worked as hard as I do my entire life. And I kind of lost hope in music a number of years ago. So I just decided I'd do a lot more charity events and just kind of use music as a way to help the community. And I loved to play, and it wasn't something I was ever going to stop, but I decided after passing notes that I wasn't really going to make another album. I'd stopped writing. I didn't do very much other than shows. And then I met all of you, and I joined this crazy place. And I know that when I want to get good at something, then I want to surround myself with people who are doing that really well. If I want to be motivated, then I surround myself by people who are wonderful and doing great things and chasing their dreams, and then we can all support each other through that. So I clicked onto Twitch, and I was having a pretty bad time in my life. It was a couple months into a pandemic, and I was feeling really out of control, and like there wasn't anything that I could do, and that was a lot of weight. So the only thing that I could kind of control was focusing on building the curriculum for my classes. I had to teach a stage performance class. Being live on Facebook and Instagram gave me a reason to see my friends, in which I couldn't leave my house to do that. And I just came over here as an experiment so that I could write some curriculum about it. Opened up Twitch, and the top streams in the music category were Autopilot, couple streams, Venus World. So those are the first streams that I saw. And I opened up Autopilot because of all the buttons and all the lights, and I was like, what is even happening here? Looking at this massive gear list, I'm like, I don't even understand what any of these words mean. And then I opened up Venus World and was like, whoa, grand piano, like incredible camera. And then I'm looking through the gear list, I'm like, that's so many monies. It's never gonna happen. And then I opened up a couple streams and I see this incredible audio quality, and I'm looking through their gear list and I'm like, oh, everything is built by Travis. And I was like, well, I know nothing about this. I'm just a girl with an acoustic guitar. I've got a ukulele. I've got some weird instruments hanging around the house that I just kind of collected out of the garbage over the years. Or like I won at events. I won the bongos at a charity event. Never played them until I met all of you. And I was like, I'm not an audio engineer. I can't build on my own gear. So I will never be able to do this ever. See, Shy, hey, we're so happy to see you. We're so happy to see you. And so you see these people that are just making a living at this and doing an incredible job of it. And you're thinking, that is never going to be me. I should give up right now. So I definitely had a lot of moments of imposter syndrome. I still have them constantly. I wish that would go away, but it doesn't. Chris, hi. And Dosey Darkin, one of the people who was here on almost my very first stream, helping me through all of that. So it's really crazy when you are locked in your house for almost 2 years. Us privileged audio engineers have it easy. No, not at all, Taylor. What we're doing is not easy, and you don't have it easy by any means. And I mean, especially with the way the industry's been, you don't have it easy at all. I just hold audio engineers in such a high regard because they've made me sound good for years, and I was never ever in charge of making myself sound good, except for at a gelato shop when I'd bring my PA system. I knew the basic understanding of, oh, a little bit of reverb here, how to mix the treble and the bass, and how to turn up the volume. That's the extent of my knowledge. But I don't know where I would be if I hadn't met all of you, I do not know where I'd be right now. So at the end of all of that, you push through. You have weeks where nothing works. You press a million buttons and they don't work the way any of the hundreds of thousands of tutorials you've watched. I've done probably over 1,000 stream tests between Streamlabs and OBS. And then every time somebody did something nice, I was like, okay, we're gonna immediately invest in making this better for each and every one of you who are here making this good and who are believing in me. So then, almost 2 years later, when a couple streams, that very first stream that you watched on your very first day on Twitch emails you to say, hey, we like your stream. And it's impressive, the audio quality you've been able to get out of the AT2020, which is something that I know so many of you were with me at the time. I waited because there was a shortage at the time. You couldn't buy webcams because everybody was buying webcams, and you couldn't find this microphone. It took me almost 3 months to get it delivered. And it's because I needed the discount package. Everyone's like, just go buy one. I'm like, yeah, but then I'd have to buy them all separate. But this came with the headphones and the stand and the cable and everything, and it was on a good promo and a good discount. So I waited 3 months for this microphone. And if anything goes wrong with it, like, it's all attached. Like, I can't replace any part of it. It was terrible. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, the wire goes inside. I can't even extend the XLR cable. Like, it's crazy. But when they write to you and they say, hey, you did a good job, firstly, that made me cry. Like, just somebody who I admire saying, hey, you did a good job on your audio quality. And so good a job that we would like to send you this hand-built microphone that when you started that streaming journey and you saw that they'd had hand-built the gear that they had, and you're like, that's never going to be a thing that I can do. And it's not a thing that I did. It's a thing that Travis did and mailed me. So actually the day after the email, and they were so kind, like, I couldn't even believe how kind they were. Like, you can totally say no. I'm like, I am crying my face off, and I'm gonna try really hard to not fangirl for the duration of this email. But yes, I would be absolutely honored. So this is the Michael. This is the microphone that they use on their stream, that they sell in their store. And they've mailed me one. So we're gonna have a new mic on our stream very soon, and we're gonna upgrade from the first mic that I bought for stream. And it's beautifully packaged, and they sent like a pop filter, and they sent the stand, and I mean, it's got its own little cozy. And I did not open it. I opened the box. Oh my God. The day after, I got to go onto their stream and they were building it. Taking some vocal rest and building it. And so the first song that was performed on this mic was their typical last song of their stream, the Whiskey song. And so when I've got this hooked up, the first song that we're gonna play is the Whiskey song. And then the second song we're gonna play is an ACS song. And the third has to be an original. Deal. About time you got a mic upgrade. My first mic that I was able to use, and just because I desperately needed one, a friend offered to lend me just a very cheap Behringer that they'd gotten for just some hobby podcasting projects. And everybody remembers those days as well. Those days of hearing the furnace and the water pump. You could hear everything. Like if a neighbor sneezed like 3 doors away, you would hear it. So huge thanks to Travis. Huge thanks to a couple streams for not only being that kind of source of inspiration in the beginning. There's of course those moments where you're like, I will never be able to do that. And I know sometimes there are some new friends joining Twitch Music and they're coming into this stream and thinking the same thing. If I can do this, you can do this. And so while there's those moments where you're like, I will never be able to do that, I hope that you also kind of do what I did, which is look to streams like a couple streams and say, but I'm gonna try. So, wow. Danny's a little speechless.